Is it here?
Yeah. Okay, Kyle Shin. Here we go. We are live. It is the day after Thanksgiving. This is going to be the best interview ever. You've been on so many podcasts, but they don't know you. All those like Asian American activists or campus, Wesleyan campus, radio hosts, they don't know you like I know you. Do they? Okay, so we're gonna, hey, Mark Budak. Okay, so Kyle, Mark is an Lowell alumni. He's a bigwig, I think former attorney who does a lot of neighborhood justice issues. So thank you, Mark, and feel free if you have a question for my son Kyle to ask in the commentary. So welcome home. Are you glad to be back?
Yeah, very glad to be back.
So for those who don't know you like I know you, where are you coming home from?
I'm in my last year at Wesleyan University, and just home for until tomorrow. Morning. Yeah.
What's the best part of coming home?
The best part of coming home is the food and getting away from the cold.
And what's your favorite dishes?
Osobuco was really good last night, and fuzzy squash. Just Chinese food in general.
They don't have good Chinese food in Connecticut?
It's not very accessible. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you play just a little bit of music? We'll just hear on your, so what are we on? We're on Spotify?
Yeah.
Okay. So just a little thing. Kyle's music is available on all platforms, right? What is this song called?
Stargaze.
Stargaze.
Yo, I ain't nothing but a stargaze. Pushing through the rabbits in my heart place. Waiting for the moment always. But it's a hard time. Scheming is a full crime. I'll say scientific. Getting difference in the paper. This is like the ringing in my head like Tiffany's. Slow down, young shit. Got the shit. Yeah, with the plan with some goddamn actions. 21 years, chugging beers. Now my masculine alibi, yes. With the Columbine threats. On the colorblind press. Say I'm 99 yet. Y'all know that I'm a one take. Got your number. I'm a just car.
Hey, Maxine. Hey, Alex. Hey, Milton. Okay, so I don't know. Let's just pause for a little bit. Okay, I don't know anything about rap. Like, I never listened to rap really growing up. I listened to funk or soul or R&B. So why is it? Okay, I have a question. So between your mother and your father had a more musical influence on you? Yeah, I'm curious.
I think
look at the audience.
Maybe I guess.
Hi, Barbara.
I guess going to church with my mom and but then also I don't know. I think it was pretty balanced because
I hate your dad's music.
Because my dad would he drove me around everywhere.
Okay.
In my entire childhood, so like listening to whatever he was listening to in the car. He actually he played like
what
MC Moment sometimes, like some Korean rap. And then he would play his REM and Queen and stuff. So I remember. Like, I
thought I was the one influencing you.
I think you influenced me with like artists that I actually like listen to still.
Like who?
Like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes. Okay. So, who else?
Let's see. Also just church music. I think like hymns are actually influential on the way that I like think about writing melodies, or just being in the church Chinese American space too. Okay, so this is just my impression that people when they rap about their life experience, hooking up with girls and driving in a car, or like I don't know. I think there's probably some political activism, so to speak. So when you think about your music, what are you rapping about?
I know some of them, but like, what are the, if people who don't know your music, what kind of genre, what kind of things are you trying to communicate through your music?
I think, yeah, I think, well, it's changed over the years too. Like, I think the way that I approach content, it has changed since I started in high school.
Okay.
I think writing and creating art is always just a reflection of both the times and then how you as the artist are relating to those times. So my raps definitely started about like, like it felt very unrefined, very like raw components that I think today are more cohesive and coherent. You know what I mean? So before it was maybe about like just specifically one breakup that I had, and so it's just about that, or like just about being an Asian American male, and like feeling like, oh, I feel very like emasculated or something, and so that was the topic of like very hyper political, very just in your face, like not very smooth. It was very kind of blunt topics, and so now I think just because my world perspective and me as a person has grown more nuanced and mature,
okay.
I think the messages, if I want to talk about those topics, it comes out a lot differently. So in songs like Stargaze, for example.
Okay, so Stargaze is one of my favorite songs. You let me listen to it early in the summer, and I frankly didn't even know what it was about. I didn't know it had a cool beat. It had a different, for me, a jazzy sort of background. And I was already visualizing a music video. And so can you, for those who are not familiar with the song, let's play just a little bit more, just because some people have joined us.
Mm-hmm. We're playing Stargaze.
Stargaze, okay.
I wish the love was covered. Kiss you on a holiday, even if it's all red. I'ma still say, on the piece of this, guilty when I plead the fifth. Go for the server of this, server some of this shit. She from California, and I ain't ready for it. Preacher, hope the devil never reads. See the people in the stands, freaking jumping out their seats.
Okay, who's singing this sort of right now, the female? Who's that?
This is Juliana Lee. I went to high school with her. And she's a very talented singer.
And is she a profession? Is this her profession? What is she in college for?
She is going to be a doctor.
A doctor. So that was a hookup in University High School. And who's this beat from? Where did you get this?
This is from an artist named Jazz Enough. He's a Korean American from New York City. I just found him online.
You just found it online?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just pause this. So, what is this song about in general, whatever it is?
So the song Stargaze, which has a video that some of you may have seen, just shared around. It's the black and white video with two dancers in it. Stargaze, I wrote it after a breakup, and
how many girlfriends have you had? How many girlfriends have you that I know about? I know about 3, but how many girlfriends have you had?
We'll plead the 5th. This one in particular was my longest relationship, so it was about 2 years and 3 months in duration.
Okay.
And
by the way, I've liked all your girlfriends. Okay.
Yeah, it was trying to like, a lot of artists or rappers kind of think about relationships in a very kind of in a not the best, healthiest light.
Okay.
Kind of thinking about it as, oh my gosh, I'm so done with that person, or I still, or maybe on the flip side, maybe I miss that person, I want to get back to them. That's kind of the two,
reunited
the polar
songs.
The polar ways to think about breakups.
Okay.
But I was interested in honoring the relationship, or kind of trying to think about what the takeaway was.
Right.
So Stargaze is that song. It's about maybe imagining them as like a distant star that's still in your life. Their presence they're far away,
right?
Because but they're still present and felt, and you can feel their light and like what they taught you still emanating.
Okay, so there's a few songs you've done. For those who don't know, Kyle used to be a highly rated chess prodigy champion. And that money of all that coaching did not go to waste because you actually rap about, use chess terms in your rap. Actually, can you talk about chess and how it's a part of your music?
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Yeah, chess. I think I've always been a super competitive kid. I was just reading through a photo album with like, you know,
you were brutal. You were brutal.
it was like what do you dislike? And then I wrote in the little fill in the blank like I hate losing to someone who I know I'm better at chess than. I think that kind of says it all. Like but it wasn't just the competitive drive that kept me going. I think also that I was able to use that drive to like get better, and then so I kind of knew both how to improve, like kind of with skills or doing something like chess or doing something like sports or it kind of that work ethic and that learning how to work smart but also work hard combined was a skill that I developed from chess that I applied to lots of things,
including rapping, art.
Rap, definitely.
Okay. Okay, so there was a couple questions that hey, Darren Long's here, Anthony Chow. Okay, just so you know who these people are. Anthony Chow is my chiropractor. Elaine, you know Elaine from Church and Cameron House. Darren Wong, which Darren? Oh, this is, okay, is this the tattoo Darren Wong? I went to Cameron House with him. He has some lovely tats. A great daughter. And Chris Takuna from Little School. Do you remember Chris? Hey, Chris. And Lynn Smith, she's also a fellow realtor. So, and Barbara, my escrow officer. So first of all, Kyle, he has been on lots of podcasts recently, particularly being interviewed by a lot of, radio shows. But he's never done a video interview and never done a Facebook Live because his community, he doesn't believe he has a community on Facebook. And I'm like, so all of us are old. Okay, we're the older contingent. And people have money to spend on music. Okay, so there was a question from Mark Budak, who, first of all, he is a big Tower of Power fan. He wants to know what you're listening to now. What kind of music are you listening to now?
I mean, definitely a lot of hip hop for sure, but kind of like, I mean, I think I'm very influenced by like J. Cole and Nas and Jay-Z, lots of like 90s, early 2000s hip hop. But I think recently I've been listening to Mac Miller, Chance the Rapper, Anderson .Paak, and then a lot of Korean artists too. Okay. Korean R&B and Korean hip hop artists. I think something about like I think I just enjoy listening to more relaxed music, not intense or like trap party music type stuff.
I don't even know what trap music is. What is trap music?
It's kind of hard to explain, but like kind of like something that, like, more, stuff that's on the radio is not really that interesting to me too. So I use music to unwind, but also be inspired by, and I think it's easier to digest when it's more relaxed music.
So I'm curious. So you took a semester off. You went to South Korea for a semester to Yonsei. Mm-hmm. And can you talk about what people may not know is that you're an East Asian Studies major.
Yes. And
why did you do that? And this is my impression. Growing up in San Francisco, where we have a significant Asian American community, and you grew up in a significant, like the Cameron House Presbyterian Church in Chinatown community, and you've been surrounded very much by a Chinese American sort of sensibility, and we don't have a significant Korean American community that you have grown up with here. Mm-hmm. So what did going to Korea do to you? Like, how did you sort of start connecting? Because your dad is Korean American. He's from New York. We don't have a lot of relatives. We don't have tons of Korean cousins and whatever it is. So right. Can you talk a little bit about what going to Korea did for you, or that path?
Yes. So I think for me, I I think going to college, I intended to be like an English history major or something like, or film or something.
Okay, that's true.
And so I wasn't thinking about Korean identity when I really went to college, but there were a lot of Korean Americans and Korean international students there. And then during the class fair, I met the Korean, like the head of the Korean department, or she's one of the main East Asian studies people in the department. And so I met her, and she basically said like, she realized when I was writing my name down for the sign up to get information on the major,
Right.
she said, "Oh, you're Korean," because she saw Shin, right? Shin is a very Korean name, and I was like, she said, "You should take Korean language," and so I was like, "Okay, I guess." So I tried it, and I realized in the process of taking it, in the first couple weeks, I was like, "Whoa, this is a powerful way to reconnect with family, but also like, or have deeper conversations with my harmony or my grandma." So I think that kind of drove me to take it all 3 years, and then it's very easy to be a East Asian Studies major if you take Korean.
Okay, can I just stop?
Yeah.
So of the there's 5 Shin grandchildren. You were the only one who can speak Korean. Grandma Harmony is so proud. So I just want to brag a little bit about that. Okay, let's stop. So you decided, you took the language. That was very powerful for you, and then it led to what?
It led me to eventually go abroad, because East Asian Studies majors are required to study abroad in the country with which the language they have. So I went abroad last semester to South Korea to study, and that was a really interesting and powerful experience. I think my experience was more balanced than most people that go abroad, because most people don't have family there,
Right.
in the country they're going to. So for me, it was really awesome to see relatives, and both young and old, and
Yeah, so your Harmony has siblings
a
there.
bunch of siblings.
You've never actually, I don't think you ever met, maybe.
I met some of the older ones, but some of the younger ones weren't born yet.
Okay.
So I met family, and I also explored the music scene a little bit. I went to like concerts, and enjoyed just the young college life of being a Korean student. And I think what I discovered in my time there wasn't the music part, but maybe like the potential of doing music there is something that I started considering, because in the past we'd only visited once on vacation, but to be kind of in the culture, very much in the heart of being a young person there, I found that, wow, like maybe Korea is a place, because it's such a flourishing entertainment capital of these days, that maybe there's potential in living there, or like continuing to learn the language to have a business relationship there.
Okay, so I was panicked when you went there, because I thought, oh my God, he's gonna fall in love with some Korean girl, and we'll never see you again. But you actually said something that you kind of didn't see your life there. Like, is that true? Is that, I don't know, is that an old thought?
Yeah, well, I think Korea, I think I kind of view Korea also similar to New York City in ways. They're just massive cities, and they're kind of dirty a little bit.
Really? I thought Seoul would be super clean.
Maybe it's a weather component too. It's just a pretty harsh place to live.
Because you were there during the summer, it was pretty hot.
Yeah, I didn't even make it all the way through the summer. But yeah, Korea, I don't think I just can't imagine myself growing old there. So, but I definitely enjoyed. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time there, and I can imagine, a couple of years there.
Okay, I just want to introduce. So we have some new viewers. Kim Hirschfield, Julie Chan, Ruby Law. Oh my gosh, these are really Ricky Wong, Erica Fong, Avril. So these are a bunch of these are it's a mix of some people are friends of your Uncle Wayne. Some people are other realtors. Some are from Lowell. Anyway, so some really good people watching. So thank you for joining. Okay, and feel free if you have a question, feel free to ask the question. Come on. Okay, so let's let's play a little bit more music. What's the one? What's that one? Oh, Draft Day. Okay, I like Draft Day. You actually did a music video. What is the song about?
The song is about friendship that I had with a close buddy, Chris, since like
Chris song.
6th, 7th grade.
Okay.
And it's about just the person that you want to celebrate your success with because they were there at the beginning.
So Draft Day is like a basketball.
With my homies on my
Sure.
draft day. My draft day. OGs get the matinee. Wait for the rap day. Rap day. Stay with me through the race. You get it, so committed. With my homies on my draft day. My draft day. OGs get the
So
matinee.
this is the album cover for Kyle's new album that just came out just a few days ago, right? Hey. Cool. I really like that song. And you actually did a music video of that. I don't think I've posted that video. I gotta say, it's not my favorite video. It's not as high quality as Stargaze. I'll post it.
But it's in Korea.
You posted it. You filmed it in Korea.
Yeah.
And who was the film crew? Like who did you have film it? Was it?
A lot of UC students, because there's a huge group of UC students that were studying abroad at Yonsei
Okay.
at the same time as me. And one of them ended up, I think the best thing that came from that is that my manager was one of the people doing like costuming or kind of color coordinating. So
Let's talk about that. Like up to now, you've been doing your own music, and actually, I want to go back to the people who've influenced you here locally, who've been. I want you to give a shout out to all those people, and then how it's evolved and what you feel like skills you don't have or skills, things, opportunities you're looking for. People who've influenced you, because your mother's community is very vast and very they're connected. So I know you guys have so many talents and experience. So and yours is a young thing. So we're gonna work on that. So when did your rap awakening happen, and who here was a big who do you want to play tribute to think?
I first started writing as like a freshman in high school, even creative writing back in 8th grade.
Okay.
So.
Okay, let's just shout out. Where have you been educated? Where have your parents paid tuition for?
I went to the San Francisco Friends School.
Okay.
And at that place, I met Don Fraser.
Okay, Don Fraser. Who was Don?
Don, he was kind of like an assistant teacher, all-purpose teacher.
He was assistant teacher. He was also he was in the was he a PE?
He was my basketball coach.
Your basketball coach.
PE, specialist. So so Don, he knew that, he saw that I was interested and was just kind of wanted to we just kind of kept in touch after I graduated. And when I told him that I wanted to actually start recording rap songs, he set me up with Malik.
Okay.
And Malik
what is Malik's full name?
Malik Abbott.
Okay.
And together they are Aquarius Groove Music. They're like a rap.
So they do rap.
They do music together. Yeah. Okay. And so because Don was going to school, he set me up with Malik, and then Malik. Okay,
stop. So Don Fraser is now Dr. Don Fraser. He has a PhD, and he's a professor. Is he a professor?
He teaches.
So an amazing role model for Kyle. And Malik. Okay, we live on 39th and Balboa. Malik lives where?
He moved to Hawaii. But
he moved to Hawaii? So he used to live by the Safeway, La Playa. So it was really super convenient for him to be mentoring you as well. So, he moved to Hawaii. Okay, got it. Keep going.
And then after, and so Malik was the most influential in terms of me developing as a recording artist. Because he just opened up his home studio, and we just put in hours and hours and created my first project, Son on Paper EP.
Why would someone invest in you, frankly? Like, why would he sort of take you under his wing? Because you spent many hours there. I mean, that was only part of his career. He was, he had kids. He was busy. So what did he see in you? What do you think?
I think that Um, I think I always the way that I just wrote lyrics, and then um, I think I did so many good raw components that he was interested in developing. Um, I think yeah, I mean I just remember, my voice sounded different. My voice wasn't as deep, I guess, because I was still in high school. The lyrics that I was writing were cool, but then not necessarily cohesive, or like they didn't translate well into the studio, in that I was saying them and it kind of would get stuck on my own words.
So what feedback would he give you? What kind of?
So Malik in particular, he would kind of like tell me to just practice it, with an iPhone or like a recorder, and just do it until it comes out. And he would have me take words or syllables out, change the words around so that they would be easier to record. So just that like attention to detail, and he would give me artists to listen to, and kind of have a critical eye on how they put words together.
Let's listen to another song while we're so people are. Again, we'll get to the sound. We're on Spotify right now. What is this?
This is the ballad. It's called "What I Want."
What is this about?
Do my best, there's some that I left out. Hold my hand, put me to the test now. No one cares, silly children. Holy one,
It's not moving on.
I hate to the time, always I'm concealing how I feel inside. To be real, hard to
Friendships,
focus on my good
relationships,
times. I never wait
passing
till my
loved
face
ones.
looking thinner. I promise one in a dozen, my shorty one in a million. I got some nerves, wishing y'all turn to birds. I got some alibi adjectives, turn to verbs. She's so observant and encouraging. I just take me slurs, I'm a burden. I drop them off.
So Mel gave you all those cassettes. Robert, I went to junior high school with. Jason is your cousin.
Everyone knows we born with a plan, but the video's rolling. Keep it going.
Is that Juliana as well?
Trying to find you.
Ariel? Who's Chinese?
Trying to be smooth, love the dress when it's on, even video touch. Even through tears, this is what I want. So you see me grow. The lies and the lows.
I like that song.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a couple songs on his. Okay, you have a total of how many songs on your new album?
9 songs.
9 songs. There's 2 I don't like. 7 I like. That's not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so Malik was a huge influence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say anything else about Malik before we move on to?
He's featured on songs for me too. So he did vocals on "Ride with Me."
Okay.
My San Francisco classic song, and then other songs of the past project, and he's always been. He also, in the song called "Crossing," he was the recording engineer for it, so he was there in the studio with me.
Do you have Crossing on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I love this song. So he gave you a prompt that created Crossing. Like what?
Right, that's true.
Okay, so what was the prompt that he had?
So there's a song called "Crossing" on the new album, and it started off as just a writing assignment that Malik gave me. He said, I want you to pick one word and then just rhyme it as many different ways as you can, by changing the meaning of it, using its like synonyms or multiple metonyms or something. Right? The same word but different meanings. So the word I picked was "crossing," and that word is really impactful and meaningful to me because it makes me think about the immigrant story and how that relates to my family, and also just the concept of son of paper, and as well as tying it today and how more recent immigrants are impacted by, or how their journey has changed or continues to be this story of America. So that's how that song came about.
Let's listen to it. Wait, do you talk about me and Nat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is about our love connection. Okay, so Mel, before we play this, Mel has a question. Compared to when you first started, how would you say you've grown as a performer?
Mm.
And then Auntie Lorraine from Tahoe just joined. Go ahead.
When I first started, actually a very distinct moment. The first major performance I did, excluding like Camera House, like open mic stuff, that was fun. But also, I mean, that time too, I would just forget my lyrics all the time because I didn't practice enough. And
That's bad. That's bad. How embarrassing.
I literally performed in front of my high school with lyrics sheets up there
That's
because
true.
I couldn't memorize them.
Okay, that's kind of lame. That's a big. Okay, that's beginning.
And now I can do. I've done 30-minute sets. You know.
Okay.
I performed in front of both small, medium, and large size crowds. So just feeling comfortable on stage. I think my favorite one to do is like a 40-person to 100 people because you can still see them and interact with them, but it's not too big where they just become like a mass that you can't connect with.
So where have you performed?
I performed both in San Francisco with like an upcoming artist showcase type stuff.
Okay.
And I performed at colleges, at Trinity College, at Wesleyan University, and so many shows at Wesleyan, really. And I also, in addition to performing, I also have done workshops. I've done a workshop at USF to talk about like Asian American identity in music. So
you were a guest lecturer, right?
Lecturer, yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to crossing. And this is Ann Avery. She's a mom at Little School.
Mm-hmm. Should I do it or do you want me to play it?
Wait. You want to rap live?
I can rap live.
Okay. You have it here, folks. Rapping live. Are you gonna just say it, or are you gonna have music in the background, or what?
That's up to you. It's your Facebook.
It's my. Go ahead. Just go live. Go.
You want me to? You want just the acapella, or you want me to play the beat too?
And the beat is helpful. Okay. I think.
Okay.
This is kind of cool. So wait, where are we going? We're on SoundCloud now.
Yeah. So I'm going into my private performance track.
Okay, you have it here, folks. Okay.
This song is called Crossing, and I'll just do part of it. I won't do the whole thing.
Okay.
It's kind of long, you know.
It's okay. We've got all day.
You get cross with my words like scripture. I'm cross-fit, cross-country boy blisters. You crisscross Mr. R&B singer, chalking nothing but a loss. You should double-cross fingers. I cross-Chris, yeah, people cross rivers. So when it flow, you can tell it's all shivers. And son of paper be a rock for sisters. They'll never be a proud when you clobber them scissors. Yup, and spread your wings wide open. It's time to fly across the waves of the ocean. I won't cross, so it's words unspoken. Here's a cross for your neck. You can bet I'm choking up. I slingshot what I got to the crossfire. You dream big, but it seems mine's a lot higher. Crossing names off lists, so we cross paths. So mean, but you never came across that. I'm moonwalking the walkie-talkies and crosswalks. I'm tracing razor blade incisions out on God's palms. So ours needed is mic drops and F-bombs. You elitists, you can't rap my damn songs. And with an elegance, you can cross-reference. Don't get crossed, Mr. Boss, no melanin. I make amends, you can bet that we chillin'. But why every time get cast as the villain?
Thank you. Son of paper. Okay, so what do you? I am not an Asian American male. I don't know what it's like to be an Asian American male. I feel like, I don't know, here in San Francisco, it's been a very loving, accepting, diverse community. So I'm like a little surprised by some of your Asian male chip on the shoulder stuff. What's that about?
I think part of it, you know, even though I growing up in Cameron House, it was a very safe space. Never felt emasculated or like I need to assert myself in any way. But I think part of it was growing up in very in other situations. So whether that be school, where it's mainly white. My going to friends' school, going to university, very very white male spaces. I think that definitely impacted or added this like chip on the shoulder that fits very well into what hip hop is.
Okay.
It's a very like underdog type of story. I want to protest, one of pointing out flaws or issues with institutions. So that's kind of where I think I find niche and also people very much connect with songs that go into these topics because everyone feels especially students of color feel this energy in some capacity in their life. So it's a very relatable experience that way. What was your other question?
It was just the Asian American angst guy. Okay, well, let's
also in sports too. I feel it a lot in sports.
Say something about it because I don't know anything about that.
I think in sports, the higher levels you get, the
Okay, what sport did you do? Okay, so
I did soccer, basketball, and track and field. And the higher levels that I would get to, the less diverse the situations would become. It would either just be basically white or black. Very, very few Asian Americans athletes
in those fields.
In those spaces. And so just that there's just a lot of kind of trash talk that would go on.
About your race, like people.
Yeah, I think it's always a mixed bag of like what exactly was going on, but I always felt kind of self-conscious and needed to like assert myself in an extra way on the field, but that wasn't a productive way of going about it.
Did you get in a fight that I don't know about?
But it was just always something that I would think about and like always feel unsatisfied with.
Okay. So if you can't,
I couldn't, if I can't, fully, if sports is not the release, then that's what pushed me to go towards music. It felt like something where I could actually build a concrete statement versus just kind of like
hitting shoulders with somebody.
Yeah, knocking someone down. It's not the same.
Because rap is a form of battle. Right?
Yeah. It has a lot. Yeah, it's in its history.
Okay.
Its nucleus.
Okay. So so there's a question. Mark, have you considered recording, performing with live musicians versus sample pre-recorded tracks?
Great question. I think I've struggled to find lots of people are interested and want to keep working with me. Lots of live, like people that play bass or drums or keys, they always express interest in working with me.
Cool.
But I think just my school in particular is just not like, it's such a busy school. Wesleyan is so busy with lots of people giving empty promises, because everyone's no one's really pursuing music full time for the most part, in my genre at least. So it's something that I really want to do in the future. So great question, Mark. But it just hasn't worked out.
And just Judy Chen, good friends. She's been following you as well, and then her husband and I went to a Warriors game.
Nice.
Yeah, that's Judy. Okay. I was a little shocked, to be honest. I was listening to one of your podcasts. Your dad and I were listening. You were being interviewed by, I don't know. It was a great interview. But in it, you made an announcement that I was a little surprised by, because I think the person was saying, hey, you're going to graduate soon. You're going to pursue music full time, which I kind of knew, but I didn't really know, or maybe I was in denial about. And then you said, and I'm going to be moving to LA. And your dad and I, our jaws dropped because we didn't know you were planning to move to LA. So why LA? Why can't you be in San Francisco to do this important work that you're doing? And just so you know that Deborah Wu.
Yeah. Auntie
Madison.
Debbie.
Madison's mom.
Yes. I would love to do it in back home in San Francisco, but I think just the opportunity isn't there. It's not. It's both a music thing and like an Asian American thing. Obviously there's a huge Asian American population here, and there are lots of musicians. But in terms of my goals with music, it's not comparable. Like Los Angeles is just the capital of entertainment, and also there's tons of like basically every Asian or Asian American artist that I know lives part-time at least in LA. So if I want to have easy collabs, which I actually experienced, a lot of the songs on the project were produced or recorded in Los Angeles, or connections that I made through that. So if I just want to be maximizing where as many collaborations as possible, and being around other creatives and being around a young, active Asian American population, it has to be LA.
But the weather and the air quality and the traffic, I don't know.
Yeah. Lots of people also do it in New York, but I'm not really interested in more winter.
Okay. Let's play just another song, just a little bit. What are you gonna play next? Not the ones I don't like.
Okay. We can play Raised to Be Great.
Okay, Raised to Be Great. What is Raised to Be Great about?
The song is about my city and
San Francisco.
Just being raised in the city, by the city, and thinking about everything that it's meant to me.
You have a music video for this one, right?
Yeah, but I think also the city, as beautiful and amazing as it is, it has lots of issues still. So it's about exploring all facets of it. So, it was Raised to Be Great.
Raised to Be Great.
Featuring Juliana and Ryan.
So Juliana from University of Pennsylvania, Ryan Z. Okay.
No fall with the roof down, not your rapid don't fly gentlemen, areas attitude moves now, it's that SM prime, we make moves now, immigrants we ain't go high, no way, it's time, we got a lot of problems, but homie listen, coalition and we solve, and I can see it in the eyes from the down low, I go to city isn't pretty for the brown folk, ain't no pity on committees for the bullshit, we stand together in the pepper in the full clip, road Michelin stars, it's a perk up, you rock, get away, I'm the fur coat, stand for yourself with your actions, one slab at a time like a blacksmith. Tell me what I'm supposed to do and everything ain't really going cool, yeah. It's like everything's a no for you, it's like everything's a no for you. It's gonna get crazy, I'm gonna make it on the TV. You know I was raised to be great, you know I was raised to say, yeah. Blinded by the skyline, the city lights, learn to follow guidelines.
Okay, so that's Ryan Z. Am I saying his name right? So who is he? Can you talk a little bit about collaboration and who you've collaborated with and who initiates that?
Sure.
And is there a certain culture, like people, is it, I don't know, do people feel obligations to have people on their side? I don't know.
I mean, collaboration is always super fun because I make so many songs by myself that it's cool to, whether they're a rapper or a singer, every collaboration is different. Even if you might like what they do, sometimes the schedules don't align. So it's really about alignment and then creating something that represents both of you. It's not just like, some not exciting collabs might happen. It's like, these two artists are so cool individually, but maybe they didn't spend enough time or didn't really mesh fully. So when you create a dope collaboration, it really feels special. So I think the song "Raised to Be Great," it has Juliana Lee, and we've been collaborating many times. This is not our first one, but what made this one work really well is that I had a vision of what I wanted for her to do, and I wrote kind of with her in mind. Also, wrote the song for her, and she has an amazing background in singing a cappella, and so she was able to harmonize herself very well, and like just we kind of were very aligned with what we were doing, and we're both kind of perfectionists in different ways. So I think that created something really really awesome. And Ryan Measy, of course, like he's also I would say on par with Malik as the backbone of the beginning of my rap career. He's for those who are unfamiliar with him, he works for the Sunset Youth Services, which is located on Judah and 45th, and he works there as like kind of like a mix between being a social worker and being like a recording artist / engineer. So he helps primarily at-risk youth develop their sense of identity and kind of get off the streets, out of gangs, by going directly to their high schools, and also providing support with them at the center, by helping them do music. And so he was introduced to me through a friend, or the center was introduced to me, and we immediately clicked. I think partially because he's Filipino American, and so two Asian American MCs are gonna actually connect, I think.
Cool. They're doing really, really important work at the Sunset Youth Center. Yeah, and it's busy. It's a busy place. It's not like there's times when you were trying to get recording hours, and it's not easy because it's such a busy, vibrant place.
Right.
Do you want to talk about any other collaborations you've done or stuff like that?
I mean, I have some exciting new collaborations in the works. So between me and producers, so people that make the instrumentals, I'm starting to work with some bigger producers, who that information will come out later. But I am excited to work. I'm working with some younger artists too. So I'm working with Akoya Diakino, and Aaron, and so they're both, they're like sophomores in college, and they kind of recently started doing music. So working with them is really fun and exciting, because I can give them advice, but also, they, when we collaborate, it feels fun and new, Akoya is the son of my chess teacher, Jesse Diakino, and so I think that just adds to our, we almost grew up together in a way. So it feels special to collaborate on something, to have connection with someone, and then develop that relationship into a collaborative, creative one.
Can we go back to chess, because there's some really interesting lyrics that are very chess vocabulary specific. Can you just, so it's a shout out to the chess community. Can you and for us who, can you give a teaser, or can you explain some chess concepts that you've actually incorporated into your rap?
Yeah. I mean, I talk about usually. I think it's really funny. Chess has always been part of rap. It's lots of people reference it because it's one of those games where it's complicated and it's about like outmaneuvering your opponent. So it has a lot of metaphor potential.
Oh, I did not know that.
So like artists from Nas, Drake talks about chess, like Big Sean, all these like massive artists, like they have a reference to it. J. Cole, because they all kind of view themselves as like masterminds of the street, or of music and rap.
This is a thesis. This could be your senior thesis for. Anyway. This, go ahead.
I think kind of what is amusing to me, or like kind of, I know that it hasn't been fully fleshed out yet. Like I will have maybe I'll have like a diss track, or like a fully fleshed out chess song, because obviously those guys they are very smart, but they're not chess players,
Right.
So
right.
I think it's safe to say I'm the strongest chess playing rapper.
Okay.
So I think so one day I'll be able to shut them down, or like
Oh
I'll
yeah,
have the end all be all like rap line about chess.
cool. Let's play just a little bit more music. What's another? Can we do Backspace? What is this song about?
It's about like when you're texting someone and then you're like doing it out of spite or anger, and you're like, oh, I need to like delete the message. So
Oh.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play it.
It's kind of a goofy song. Very R&B influenced. It's the last song on the album.
Backspace, backspace. I really
Yeah.
got no shade. Making up for those checks. Girl said to my face. Backspace, backspace. I really got no shame. I'ma give up what I got. Girl said to my face. Look here, baby, not down. I know it's difficult, hard when we not round. Gotta face one another, brace one another way. Girl said to my face, hey, move with the boy, groove with a miss news. Duck, yup, you're my gray goose. I don't really need the X clue, but your ex do. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? Boy, and fake news, I assume got some pain in it. The glue rips from the tips of the page of it. And no shit, I got two lips if the shoe fits. I'm a new sis, and get 2 pence on. New fist, you ain't changing at all. Tell by you flexing, that
Okay.
shit's unresolved.
What are the 2 rules I said that you cannot have in any of your raps? I should have created more rules, but there was 2 things I said that I do not want in any of your raps.
Just unnecessary swearing.
Unnecessary swearing. There's
And
2 more.
you can go ahead.
I want to see if you know the rule.
Just don't talk bad about women.
So no, you can never use the word bitches in any of your raps about women.
Definitely not.
And then what was do you know the 3rd one about San Francisco?
Oh, don't call it Frisco.
Don't call it Frisco. Anyway, so there's some mom influence. We can only do what we can do. Okay, so how can people? What have you launched? Can you talk about swag? Can you talk about how people can support your music?
Yes.
Because parents can only support you for so long. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the project, first and foremost, this guy right here, Paper Mache. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, so you can download it on your favorite streaming platform. We can drop links at the end of this.
Okay.
But it just came out on Friday. So I'm excited for that, for just to see how it develops, and I think I'll have lots of upcoming shows from the project now that I've started getting traction from that. My mom's wearing a shirt, a Son of Paper shirt. These will be, I'm really excited that they're going to be reprinted. We sold out of all of them in about 2 or 3 months. So we're reprinting it, and it should be around for Christmas.
Oh, is it
so-
gonna be the same colors? What colors are you gonna have?
Only the black and white one will be available. The other shirt is more expensive to make. So, but this I think it'll be a classic, constantly reinstalled, constantly reprinted shirt that I'm hoping to make like kind of the Son of Paper must-have basics.
Oh,
People can buy this poster for $5 this holiday season.
it's $5? I thought it was 10.
It's Black Friday today.
It's Black Friday pricing. Oh my gosh.
And then I have another T-shirt coming out, which I'm really excited about. That should be, it'll be. I think some people felt like, oh, long sleeves kind of, maybe if they live in a very hot place, or they wanted a T-shirt. So I listen to people, need a t-shirt.
How can people, in addition to supporting your music and spreading, like sharing links to your video, is there, what resources do you need? Do you need people, interviews on other kinds of medium? Do you want them to connect with someone in LA? So this is your time to have your wish list of, you know, things that you want or need, or who do you really want to collab? Like, who's your dream collaboration with?
I think the most important thing is that I'm open for almost all those things. You know, like I'm really open to collaborating with both. It doesn't matter if it's just a small interview, it's just a small like local college thing. If your son or daughter like likes to do interviews or photo shoots, or I think the most important kind of perspective for me to start to keep, both as a starting artist and also in the future if I get bigger, just to be open to new experiences and really be doing my grind, or you know, my early collaborations. So I'm open to all collaborations, both small and big, and of course it'd be great to have it in California, because that's I want to move back. So yeah, if you know artists, interviewers, you know, like I guess label people, it all connections are really appreciated, and I'll be happy to talk to them.
Thank you, Facebook Live community. Good to have you home, and we will do another interview when you come back for Christmas, but to talk about other stuff.
Cool.
It's good to have you home. Okay, bye everyone.